When is the next Pokemon Legends ZA trailer? Now, weirdos are going to go, we just got Pokemon news. Why is everyone so impatient? Why can't they wait? As they then rapidly jump onto every fake leak that hits the internet. But we don't have a lot of information right now. This is one of the driest years for Pokemon news so far. And that's not a good thing for hype, especially about a game that everyone claims that they want. Pokemon fans should want Pokemon news. They should want to be excited about the upcoming Pokemon game and get more information about it, especially with all the misinformation about this one. Apparently, the trailer wasn't clear enough that we're going to be, in the past, building the current Lumiose in X and Y. So, any amount of information like that to dispel all the crazy things people are saying helps. It also taps down all the fake leaks that just keep spreading throughout the community because people are idiots. And the releasing worldwide 2025 isn't doing anyone any favors because that's what Pokemon Legends was. It was a game for the next year, and then it released very early into the next year. So people are trying to like already put this into, oh, it's a November 2025 game. Game Freak's going to take their time like they need to, even though that narrative is complete trash as well. Is this January? Is this February? I know it's kind of like far away for them to put a date on. But I mean, if it needs a delay, they could just say it. So now, they're not giving us anything, and they're just making the Pokemon community go crazier and crazier. Also, it was almost 2 months ago since we got this announcement, and not really any other news about it. So where does that put us on the timeline? What could be coming up that could lead to a trailer? Now, I've broken down Pokemon Sun and Moon's release cycle many times. Objectively, the best Pokemon news cycle we've ever had. And is it just me, or every time I look at the starter reveal trailer, it gets earlier? May 10th! The first half of May. It wasn't late May. It wasn't mid-May. It was fairly early into May where we got Pokemon Sun and Moon news. And this kind of works because the trailer that revealed Pokemon Sun and Moon just gave us, like, some concept art, no actual gameplay, and said, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, later this year. It all comes together. What do you mean the legendary Pokemon were revealed before E3 in June, less than a month since the previous trailer? Tons of Pokemon news. No doubts, no questions. Everyone was hype. Unfortunately, the modern Pokemon news cycle has been as dry and hype-free as possible. So when you start thinking about it, okay, May used to be a target for Pokemon news that you could start speculating on around April, which was fair. Now it's like, yeah, we're not really expecting it. Is there any hope? Is there anything that could be done about it? Well, not with the Pokemon Legends game that's going to be happening next year, but there is hope for maybe something else where we have the Pokemon video game press conference. Pokemon Company press conference happens in late May, and it shows the upcoming projects for the Pokemon Company since they are a company and they are trying to get people interested in their products that aren't just kids wanting the video games. So there's a lot more corporate stuff going on, which is cool and interesting. So we got a few of these, and then they just stopped happening. And yeah, like they just stopped happening. We had 2018, 2019, and then I guess the news was kind of like too crazy and chaotic. Also, Rona happened. But then we also had the debacle with the Pokemon Presents. We get 2 Pokemon Presents in a month. Pokemon community hates it. Because Pokemon Unite got its own dedicated Presents, even though we already had other game reveals in the first one. Worst community. Maybe we don't actually deserve another Pokemon Legends trailer anytime. We don't deserve any more Pokemon games. That's how bad this community's gotten. And the 2018 video game press conference was super hype because we didn't have a Pokemon announcement at that time because we didn't know if it was a remake year or not, but man, first main series Pokemon game on Nintendo Switch, that's going to be a thing, right? That's going to need a major announcement, even outside of Pokemon Day, some crazy stuff going on, and then we got one of the best Pokemon games ever with Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee. So, it all came together, and it was all pretty awesome. And it was a 45-minute press conference, so there was more to it than just that, including the announcement of another one of the best okay, we gotta say 2018 Pokemon press conference, like, best Pokemon news drops for games ever, right? We got Pokemon Let's Go and Pokemon Quest. People weren't feeling it, and then it's like, oh yeah, actually one of the most beloved games that needs an update more than any other Pokemon game. Pokemon Let's Go, and we also had a little bit of extra. We had stuff with Niantic and Pokemon Go. And it was so hype, even this part gets you, where we know Pokemon's doing something in 2027, but that they announce it, that they say the future, 2019 and more, was super amazing. But then what happened in 2019? We actually had all kinds of stuff. We had Detective Pikachu game for Nintendo Switch, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Masters, Pokemon shirts, Dude from Toho, Pokemon Home, Pokemon Sleep, but nothing about Pokemon Sword and Shield. And it was the Pokemon business strategy announcements, like very formal, very businessy, and then it didn't happen again. So like, I don't remember Backlash to that degree, also kind of showing like DNA making Pokemon game stuff. And it was kind of weird that we didn't get Pokemon Sword and Shield news, but I mean, late May, we're definitely going to be getting an early June trailer anyway, so I mean, like, that's just double hype. No Pokemon Sword and Shield here means we're going to be getting it in the next week or two, so that's just fine, and there was more than enough information. So the 2019 press conference shows us what a Pokemon presentation can deliver on without giving us a new Pokemon main series game or information about the game that's already been revealed, and it seems like we absolutely need that for next month, or Pokemon is just cooked. We need some kind of spin-off game to look forward to while we're waiting for Pokemon Legends ZA. Whenever it's going to come out, like a year without a Pokemon game just cannot happen, including like spin-off games, because Pokemon Legends is main series, and normally there is some kind of spin-off game like a mystery dungeon or something to hold us over. If we get it like a year without a Pokemon game, that's going to be a completely different development team, so it has nothing to do with Game Freak or Pokemon Legends development time. All they have to do is give us Pokemon Quest 2. Just give us the updated Chinese version of Pokemon Quest on the Nintendo Switch, and fine, we're set for a long enough time, or any kind of other interesting or cool Pokemon game announcement. I'll accept another app. There is, like, also I think it can work for a Pokemon press conference, because we do have the Pokemon TCG app that's coming out. And by that point, it'll have been 3 months since Pokemon Day, so that'd be a really good time to give us the release date for Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, which I'm actually really looking forward to. No modern power creep and nonsense, and you just get to have chill Pokemon TCG battles on an app after whatever ended up happening to Pokemon TCG Online. Weird stuff happened there, I don't know. But if there's not Pokemon Legends ZA news or a better announcement for a Pokemon press conference, there will be riots, and that is a very bad thing. So it actually, like, we need it for the consumer security of, like, the Pokemon company is working on other things, right? They're not, for some reason, randomly hurting their development cycle for absolutely no reason, and then not giving us any meaningful projects until, like, 2026. Also, none of this is because the Nintendo Switch 2 is delayed. The Nintendo Switch 2 was never delayed. That's a fake... That's not even a fake rumor. It's just fake speculation. Because if you go off of the estimated timeline of the Nintendo Switch, we're still fine into late 2025 or something like that. And that was always going to be a developer consideration. And they could, again, just update Pokemon Quest, make some kind of other game. Really, the only thing no Nintendo Switch 2 hurts Pokemon for is a potential battle simulator, Battle Revolution 2, Pokemon Stadium kind of game. So yeah, that has nothing to do with it, and the Pokemon company should still have a lot of other projects going, right? Now, I've been mostly talking about a Pokemon press conference and other announcements that may allow for some kind of timing of Pokemon Legends, but what about Pokemon Legends news itself? It's not looking good. Even if Pokemon Legends ZA comes out in January, February, that's what Pokemon Legends Arceus did, and the first trailer after the announcement was August 18th. Joe Merrick actually believes that we're going to be seeing our first trailer in August. Now, June news has gotten weird with E3 no longer being a thing, but E3 wasn't really relevant anyways. And let's all be real here, gamers. E3 wasn't necessary by the late 2010s. With streaming and presentations and Nintendo Directs and stuff, Nintendo had no reason to waste hundreds of thousands of dollars on convention setups like that, when they could just announce anything whenever they want in June and get the same amount of attention and publicity and press. So the August trailer could give us a good idea of what to expect for Pokemon Legends ZA. We finally get to see like the city development, maybe understand a little bit. Story news usually comes later, but with how weird the announcement and even getting less information for Pokemon Legends ZA than Pokemon Legends was, we need a bit more. But it would be interesting to be like, yeah, we're catching Pokemon in the city, we're locked in the city, that's kind of weird, maybe they make it work. I'm not holding my breath because of how broken Pokemon Legends Arceus is. But yeah, August. June trailer would be cool. I think a raw July trailer just doesn't make sense. Even though, like, you're making a kids game. All the kids are off at school in June, and that's why Pokemon Sun and Moon was so successful. There was more news for Pokemon Sun and Moon in June and July than the entirety of like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet or Pokemon Sword and Shield reveals. And that's even ignoring like the first trailer, like just June and July. So much news, non-stop action, gave us way more and all that hype, and then just kept on going. And that's why these trailers got such unbelievably insane viewership. And the sales for Pokemon Sun and Moon would absolutely be higher if it wasn't for all the piracy and early game leak. Who knows how many millions of copies were stolen of that game because of the data mine and leaks and stuff. So yeah, back to Pokemon Legends Z8. I keep getting distracted, but that's just how Pokemon news goes. And now that it like keeps on getting more and more, like Pokemon Sun and Moon 8 years ago. We've had many main series games in between that, so we have more kind of development on Pokemon news than compared to like, oh, Pokemon Let's Go's coming out. Let's go and look back at Pokemon Sun and Moon and see what happens. So we go mid-August, late September, October, yeah, kind of late October, and that was what gave us some reveals and stuff. Randomly Hisuian Voltorb shenanigans, that was like memes, stupidity, and a short or like some kind of story about Voltorb. December 9th, so like August, September, October, no November, but we did have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl released then, so I guess that's fine. December again, and again, like how can anyone be upset at like the trees in Pokemon Sword and Shield or any of the graphics in any of the Pokemon games when that's like the most awful looking thing to come out of Pokemon Switch? And this trailer just kind of showed people and didn't really give us anything about the games. And then I forgot about how clickbait this was. Hisuian final starter evolutions right before the game comes out. So I'm like, what's the point of this? This does absolutely nothing. The game's already coming out, so like you're spoiling nothing. You don't even reveal it. And like everyone already knew. Like not even from the data mine, because by this point the game leaked early. It was data mine and everyone was playing and everyone already saw the starters. So I mean like at that point you pivot and you just reveal them because a lot of people have already seen them anyways. But this doesn't do anything. This doesn't build up hype. This is not converting a single sale for all of Pokemon Legends. And you have to wait through like an entire trailer of gameplay that's mostly what we've already seen to then give us nothing and clickbait us on the title. Really cool. Yeah, I'm just angry. The entire reveal cycle for Pokemon Legends sucked. All of Pokemon Legends sucks. And now we have like Pokemon Legends ZA with a 2025 like why not? Okay, why not give Pokemon Legends ZA its time to shine with a proper main series release timeline? The cope from Pokemon Legends Arceus fans is that it came out after Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl and was only one copy, therefore it sold less, which objectively makes no sense. And even then, we can see games releasing in January or after Christmas still doing really well because kids have Christmas money or the game is announced. So it's like, hey mom, just like, I don't need a game now. Just make sure I get the thing next month or in the next 2 months. Because Palworld with record sales, they can do it. A lot of other games do it too. Doesn't have to be a November, December release to get good sales. So actually, in trying to find news for Pokemon Legends ZA, just validates all of my complaints, and I find more complaints about Pokemon Legends ZA, Pokemon Legends, and all this other stuff because it doesn't make any sense. How are you going to get a good game or a good story from a completely flawed foundation that has no care for anything else before it with Pokemon, and you're just trying to pander to weirdos? Not successful. Extra not successful. You know what? I don't even want Pokemon Legends ZA news anymore. Just give me Pokemon press conference, give me Pokemon Quest update, and maybe like some kind of really cool project Game Freak's working on in the future, because like we're already dealing in 2025, and if we're getting into May, just kind of hype some other stuff up. All right, if you've got nothing now, Pokemon, at least reestablish faith and hype in the fans. Or maybe they do have a spin-off game that's cooking for November. What's Ilka doing? What's Creatures doing? What's anyone else doing? But again, I think with like the Nintendo Switch 2 being an inevitability soon, regardless of all the fake leaks and rumors and speculation and stuff, like we can't do a simulator now, because then that's like right at the end of the Switch lifecycle. You need to launch with the simulator and then try to boast and establish competitive Pokemon from there. That's still too little too late without Wolfie VGC and all the other VGC players getting permabans for their confirmed cheating. And just whatever, I guess. Maybe another crazy mobile project. But I mean, after Pokemon Unite, that was the MOBA everyone wanted back in 2013. So, I don't know. The future of Pokemon looks weird. If there's no press conference, it's even worse. And then we're like pinned until August, unless we get some kind of news. And then like they need to go hard. They need to make this the Pokemon X and Y news cycle with a bit of Pokemon Sun and Moon and just give us nonstop news. That way we're happy without our game in 2024 and we're ecstatic, we're hyped. We want this game more than any other Pokemon game by 2025. Is Game Freak capable? Nothing about the last half decade, more than last half decade, has any faith for that, but we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, the dive actually not going as optimistic as I thought. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.